Meet the Palace generation. Maybe you call them Mom or Dad, Grandma, or Uncle Al. Or maybe all you see is white hair and look right on past. But stop and think. These were the kids who invented rock and roll, ended Vietnam, and walked on the moon. They went to Woodstock, gave us the Super Bowl, and smashed the Berlin Wall. And who do you think thought up bikinis, cell phones, and James Bond? They stood up first for civil rights, for women's rights, and the environment. And now, to this generation of Arnold Palmer, Andy Warhol, Neil Armstrong, and Audrey Hepburn, the best they are offered is something so dull as senior living? No way. So we created Palace Living, a new style of senior living here in Weston, like nothing you have ever seen before. And yes, it really is like living in a palace, which, after all, is what they deserve.
We actually started in July of 1980 when we looked over to try to start with an assisted living community. At that time in Dade County was about 3 or 4 assisted living communities. And in the end of the day, we actually started with the one in Opelika that had 21 assisted living beds, licensed beds.
I cannot explain it, but this is like to be on top of the world. And it's not in Israel, a small country. It's in America.
Versus my wife that took it and she was so proud, I looked at the obligation that we are taking as a number one in America that we need to continue what kind of service to deliver. Then for me, it was much more headaches. For her was the joy. Really, Gallup indicated that what really we are doing with our employees works. And the fact is that after interviewing all the employees and families and residents to come back and to say that we are one of the best workplaces in the world really gives you a good feeling.
Actually, the staff is much more important than me or Jacob. It's much more important than the buildings and the chandeliers. The emotional connection has to be there.
About 15 years ago, I was approached about going to Weston. And when we figure out that Weston is the area that we want to go, we figure out that the population is too young. 10 years from now, we will come back. 15 years from now, we will come back, and we will build our first independent assisted and memory care in the Weston area. The city is beautiful. The location is excellent. It's less than 1 mile from Cleveland Clinic, that I believe very much that communities like this should be close to the hospital. Then I said to myself, Weston needs one like us.
"35 years ago, the team behind Walt Disney World created a visionary new community called Weston. Weston will have the best of everything, they said. The best homes, the best schools and churches, the best parks, even a charming town center. They also built the best clubs for everyone. The tennis players, swimmers, and of course, the golfers. And soon Weston became the best place to live in Florida. One of the safest cities in America. the best place to raise a family. Yeah, Weston truly has the very best of everything, including the world-famous Cleveland Clinic, just around the corner from the new palace. Our new palace in Weston is really 3 communities in one. A place for independent living, one for memory care, and one for assisted living, all under one roof, and all built to the same standard that made us #1 in America. From this gorgeous lobby that welcomes your guests, to the warm and inviting plaza that's your social center, this is a home where everything is at your fingertips. There's gourmet dining at every meal, every day, live entertainment and shows in our own theater almost every night, a first-class fitness center, medical clinic, even a beauty salon, and exceptionally large residences. And everyone loves the courtyard garden and heated swimming pool, and all the classes and studios for every interest. But best of all, so many great new friends to enjoy it with.
My parents, there's 5-year age difference in the late 80s, and I saw all my friends dealing with issues. And even though nothing was happening, I thought I better maybe think ahead.
I attended a luncheon here, and it was beautiful. It was great. Some of the community people were invited, and I was most impressed with it. I really was.
I said I got sick of living in the house. Things started to go, the roof and the pool, where I had these repairs and those repairs and the taxes and all of that. And that's how I got here.
All the sisters got together, all the daughters, and my mother was not doing well, and it was very hard to supervise the help in Venezuela when we were all in a different country around the world. And she said, well, if we move to Miami, I'll move to the palace.
We had a brother living in Los Angeles who needed care, and we needed a place for him to stay and be cared for. And I have very close friends whose mother lived in the palace in Kendall. So I knew about the palace. I'm a CPA, so doing due diligence, I contacted friends that we have that own nursing homes and rehabilitation centers in South Florida. They've been in the business for 35 years. I called them and they said, you have to go to the palace.
And everybody I talked to, because I gave it a lot of thought, I went and talked to people and interviewed people, and everybody said they wish they had moved before they were ready.
Wow, I said, that's the right name for it. That is a palace. I said, sign me up.
I've never seen a building such as this as a retirement situation. It's just a beautiful place to live.
And then when we walked in here, it was like a taste of a life that they never even dreamt of. It was just gorgeous.
My husband had Alzheimer's, and therefore I needed to begin to make a plan.
My biggest concern was my brother's health. I thought he was going to die. And he needed to be brought back to life. He needed love. He needed care. He needed everything the palace had to offer.
Her mother loved all of the activities. She took part in all of them. She was always swimming, or the classes, or the dancing, or the movies. And her father liked to go down to the gym where he could ride a bike and do his workouts and have people. He would come down to breakfast every day, and he had a group of men that he was able to have breakfast with every morning and talk about sports and things like that he loved.
She made friends right away. She had a canasta group. She went to all the activities, and she gained 15 pounds. She has more company here than she had at home in Venezuela. So she has a lot more life here.
With my family, it's difficult on holiday times because who's going to go where, like where do we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and that. Here with all the family and friends events, it's completely changed our family dynamic. My granddaughters wanted, when they came for the first time, they said, can I live here? Can we live here with Uncle Merle? We want to live here. They wanted to move in. And my other granddaughter that's almost 15 wanted to get a job. She wants to work here.
Well, I love the activities and the sociability, and the staff is wonderful, and there's always something to do. I love the games. I also bake and I write plays. I had one 2 years ago that I wrote and directed. I teach piano. I play the accordion. I do stand-up comedy. I'm always busy. And that's the idea of keeping young. You don't feel old here. You can do as much as you want or as little as you want. But when I get old, that's when I'm going to retire.
All of the people we met here seemed so committed to the palace and to taking care of the people who were here, and it was going to give us the peace of mind that her parents, my in-laws, would be close to us, but be somewhere where they could be independent, and we would feel comfortable that someone would always be here for them.
Oh, they're so nice. Josh says, this is your home, and you do whatever you like, and it really feels like your own home. They want you to be happy.
They care. They know what they're doing. From the top up, the owners are just amazing. They're visible. They're always around. They know them. They know what they like when they go in the dining room, if they like this or they like that. The whole thing is like a family.
Staff is just wonderful. They hug, they kiss, they treat us like we're their grandparents.
I decided it was the very best decision I had ever made. It really was great. And my husband loved it too.
They saw how happy she was, how healthy she was, and how involved she was. She hasn't made, and she will be 97.
I don't go to bed crying at night anymore, worrying about him. I know that he's okay. And that's the gift. That's more important to me than anything in my world. This isn't basket weaving, this is stimulating, and the lectures and the movies and the social events. The social director is unbelievable. The way the team, they pull things together and everything is an event, and we love coming here. I have visions of my grandparents, and it was boring and it was smelly and it was dark. This is exactly the opposite. It's just fun.
I thought it would be sort of nice to live in a palace.